Oh, you can? Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
What's up, guys? This is Corey. So I am in Denver with my good friend Mark, and we are recording Chasing Better on audio. So it's going to be available on Audible here hopefully soon in the next month or so. But I thought I would release one chapter on YouTube so that you could kind of get a sample of what's going to be happening. There might be some times where I stop. You're going to get the raw, unedited, version. So there might be some, when you listen to the final version, there won't be any stops and pauses. But seeing this on YouTube, you'll be able to see the whole thing. So here we go. This is chapter 2 of Chasing Better: What Others Think. Chapter 2: What Others Think. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Eleanor Roosevelt. People watching. People are so funny. Do you ever people watch? Not like in a stalker kind of way. Quit lying, you do it too. We people watch at malls, airports, and sporting events. We definitely people watch whenever we have to go to Walmart at 11 p.m. on a Friday night. Judging others is just something all of us do naturally. Most of us know absolutely nothing about the person we are judging, yet we create scenarios in our heads that may as well be gospel. Later in this chapter, we will get into how to deal with others being critical of you. If you want to be successful, it's going to happen. First, however, let's start with you. I read a quote that has been attributed to many people. So the truth is, I have no idea who originally said it. I just know it wasn't me. We tend to judge others based on their actions and judge ourselves based on our intentions. What in the world does that mean? I'm guessing there isn't one person reading this book who enjoys finding out that someone else has spoken negatively about them. Yet we think it's okay for us to do the same. People are hypocritical. I'm hypocritical, so are you. Don't believe me? I'll prove it to you. Road rage. Nowhere does the hypocrisy of mankind become more apparent than when we are behind the wheel of a car. America suffers from an incurable disease of road rage. Some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life are absolute maniacs behind the wheel of a car. This is exactly what we do when we drive. If you're in a hurry and the person in front of you is traveling slower than you, you get irritated. I'm talking the talk to yourself and yell at the driver in front of you at the top of your lungs to step on the gas, even though they can't hear you, kind of irritated. We all have the judgy drive stare down pat. Don't look at me like that. You do it too. You have a car that's in front of you that is going slow and you pass them. But before you pass them, you give them a look. In your head, you're saying, yeah, you better not look back at me. You know what you did, Mr. Prius. Do you have any idea how late I'm going to be? Do you know the speed limit is 45 and you're only going 45? My grandmother drives 10 miles over the speed limit and she doesn't even drive anymore. Let's flip the script. Every one of us have had someone behind us driving who is tailgating us. When someone is tailgating you, what do? You drive even slower. That's what you do. Why? Because in your head we are saying, dude, slow down. Why are you in such a rush? When that car inevitably passes us, we bring back the judgy "you are driving too fast" stare as the BMW passes you in a flash with their tinted windows and WWJD bumper stickers on the back. When we are in a hurry, everyone else is slow. And when we aren't in a hurry, everyone else simply needs to chill out because they will get wherever they are going eventually, and maybe they just should have left 5 minutes earlier. People employ the same hypocrisy when it comes to talking about others. We can't stand when people do it to us. We think it's okay when we do it. Upset with me yet? Good. That's my goal. So,
You're good.
there's people talking outside. So we had to pause the recording for a second.
They passed.
People employ the same hypocrisy when it comes to talking about others. We can't stand it when people do it to us. We think it's okay when we do it. We think it's okay when we do it. Upset with me yet? Good. That's my goal. I don't have an audience with the person who is talking about you right now. I do have the opportunity to help you by virtue of you reading this book. So let's talk about you. What I have learned is that most people who talk the most about others don't have a whole lot they are chasing as far as goals in their own life. They don't think success is possible for them, so they have resolved to be critical of others. I guarantee there will be some people who are critical of this book. They will criticize grammar and word choice and content, yet they have never written a book themselves. It's okay, I can take it. Criticize away. Don't be that person. What are you chasing? What goals keep you awake at night? What are you trying to create? Are you laser focused on growth for your company, growing your church, raising amazing kids, earning incredible wealth? If you are, you won't have the time to stop and be critical of everything that everyone else is doing. You would spend far less time criticizing others if you spent more time chasing your goals. You would also worry less about what others think about you because you are laser focused on a goal. You would also worry less about what others think. You would also worry less about what others thought about you because when you are laser focused on a goal, you don't have time to look to the right or to the left. Nailed it! The nailed it's not part of it.
We're good.
Benefit of the doubt. Before I help you get over and past what others say about you, I want to challenge you to not become the very person you can't stand. The truth is, if you find yourself consistently talking negatively about others, your goals aren't big enough, and you're living too small. Is that what you want? You want to be a small person with small goals? If so, don't change a thing. I think you want to be better. If you didn't, you wouldn't be reading a book called Chasing Better. If there was one thing I wish America in general would get better at, it would be giving others the benefit of the doubt. We don't do that very well. Our court system may be innocent until proven guilty, but the court of public opinion is always guilty until proven innocent. Many people say the reason they don't give others the benefit of the doubt is because they have done so before and ended up getting hurt. I would personally rather live a life where I give others the benefit of the doubt too much and get hurt than be someone who never gives anyone the benefit of the doubt and never trusts anyone. I understand this is a slippery slope. People absolutely need to be held accountable for their actions, and there needs to be a system put in place where people can tell the truth. If you have been hurt or wronged, tell someone. I'm mainly talking about scenarios that we tend to create in our heads. You know what I'm talking about. It's one thing if we know for sure someone has been talking badly about us or just flat doesn't like us at all. We will get into that option in a second. Internal storytellers. I've learned from my life that I am an amazing storyteller when it comes to inventing things that others could be saying about me. We worry about this way more today because of social media. We worry about who liked our post, who didn't like our post, why didn't they like it? Are they still upset because I didn't invite them to that concert? Okay, they shouldn't be mad at me about that. Seriously, I only had 3 tickets and 2 of them had to go to family. Why can't they just be happy for me? I'm always supportive of them, and on it goes. Could it possibly be that they didn't see your post in the first place? Even if they did see it, does them not pressing a like button mean they aren't supportive? Most of the time, the stories we imagine taking place never actually happen. We let our minds wander. I'm all for daydreaming. I daydream in the shower all the time. I imagine how I'm going to invest all the money I'm going to earn. I imagine my Cubs season tickets in my indoor bowling alley. Most of the time, our daydreams turn into day nightmares. I'm not one who remembers my dreams often, but I can't stand having nightmares. You wake up sweating, you have a hard time going back to sleep, not fun. We willingly put ourselves through day nightmares when we sit and invent theories about what people think about us. The more we think about it, the more upset we get with the person whom we perceive to be saying such atrocities. The truth is, the vast majority of the time we think someone is talking about us or thinking negatively about us, they really aren't. You know what they're thinking about? Themselves. People love thinking about themselves and really love talking about themselves. Ever been in a situation where you're having a conversation with someone and it feels awkward and stagnant? Maybe on a sales call with a prospective client or a first date with a potential significant other? Just start asking them questions about them and they will start talking. It's human nature. The most likely scenario is that people aren't talking about you. They're not talking about you because they're not thinking about you. Let's say they are. Let's say you have a full-blown hater. Hater's gonna hate. Apparently hater's a word. Like an actual in the dictionary word. Probably the revised version because I can't imagine Thomas Jefferson calling John Adams a hater. I could just read you the dictionary definition of hater, but that would be boring. Instead, I will do something better. I'm going to read you the definition of hater from the Urban Dictionary. If you've never explored the Urban Dictionary, you are missing out. I've never in my life been told that I come close to resembling anything urban. I'm pasty, I'm white, I'm a tad on the dorky side. Let's just call a spade a spade. Here's how Urban Dictionary defines hater. A person that simply cannot be happy for another's success. So rather than being happy, they make a point of exposing a flaw in that person. Hating, the result of being a hater, is not exactly jealousy. The hater doesn't really want to be the person he or she hates. Rather, the hater wants to knock someone else down a notch. That's a pretty good definition if you ask me. I have a few thoughts about this. Prepare your toes because I'm about to step on them. Don't be surprised when you have haters if you are a hater to someone else. The reap what you sow principle applies to way more than just money. So you have a hater. You have 2 or 3 haters. You have an army of them. Congratulations. I don't want to come across as someone who isn't understanding of your situation. This book is called Chasing Better, not Chasing Pity Parties. I get it. You don't like it when others talk negatively about you. You don't like the fact that there are others sitting around thinking about how much they don't like you for whatever reason. Most people today are people pleasers. We do whatever we have to in order to get the people to like us. We do whatever we have to do in order to get people to like us. And we can't stand the thought of someone out there that disapproves of our life. 7 billion people on the planet, and we get bent out of shape if a handful of them aren't fans. If I'm honest, I'm not a big fan of people thinking negatively about me either. If you ever want to know what it's like to have a group of people not like you, try being a pastor for a little while. My goodness. As a pastor, you have to receive a direction for where you feel the church needs to go. You pray, you seek counsel, you implement change. Then you deal consistently with the ramifications of what happens when people don't like that change. I always thought it was funny that people in church wanted the pastor to, quote, hear from God, unquote, and then strongly disapproved of it when it wasn't something they supported. I don't think this is true of all church-going people. It's just funny to me that in the eyes of many Christians, God's will looks a whole lot like whatever our preferences are. Shots fired. The truth is, pastors aren't the only ones who deal with this. We all deal with this, especially if you're a leader. Jeremy DeWert is the pastor of an amazing church in Rockford, Illinois, and one of my closest friends and mentors. I'm not sure if he is the one who originally said this or not, but I have heard him say it often. Everyone loves you until you lead. If you have ever had any desire to be a leader in anything, dealing with criticism is just part of the territory. One of my favorite authors and motivational speakers is Grant Cardone. He talks about how you should be grateful for haters. Be grateful for them because the only reason you have them is because someone knows who you are. Lessons from the Olympics. My wife and I are big fans of the Olympics. Allow me to clarify. We are big fans of some of the Olympics. I am much more of a Summer Olympics guy than a Winter Olympics guy. Say what you want, but I love watching gymnastics and swimming. I'm not really into the track and field stuff. We love watching the opening ceremonies, cheering on the USA at whatever they are competing in, and trying to figure out exactly how curling works. Michael Phelps has absolutely dominated the Olympics for the past decade. He's the most decorated Olympian in the history of Olympics. He swam in 5 Olympics, winning 28 medals in total with 23 of them gold. Michael Phelps has a legendary work ethic. His preparation is crazy. He spends hours in the pool, jumps from warmer to colder water, eats a ridiculous amount of calories because of the amount that he burns while swimming. He's a monster in all of the good kinds of ways. Is he perfect? Not even close. Neither am I, neither are you. Whatever his imperfections in life may be, the guy flat out knows how to swim. Like really, really fast. Michael Phelps has haters too. In the 2016 Rio Olympics, a swimmer from South Africa named Chad le Clos criticized Michael Phelps. In reality, the rivalry started before the Olympics when le Clos shocked everyone by beating Phelps in the 200-meter butterfly swim at the 2012 Games, which was one of Phelps' signature events. Apparently, Phelps was cordial in defeat, and the two had mutual admiration for one another. A few years later, Phelps had gotten into some trouble with the DUI and wasn't allowed to swim at an event where le Clos was swimming in while competing in the 100-meter butterfly. Le Clos put up a great time, and an interviewer asked him about his rivalry with Michael Phelps. He said, quote, Michael Phelps has been talking about how slow the butterfly events have been recently, but I just did a time that he hasn't done in 4 years, so he can keep quiet now, unquote. If there hadn't been a swimming rivalry before between these two, there was now. Phelps was not a fan of those comments. At the 2016 Games, there was a picture that went viral of Phelps and le Clos just before they would compete against each other in the 200-meter butterfly event. In the picture, Phelps is giving the one death stare to rule them all in the direction of Chad le Clos. The race starts and Phelps has a commanding lead in the race. There's a picture of the event that shows both swimmers who are swimming side by side in this race with the whole world watching. Michael Phelps is in the lead, looking straight ahead, focused on the finish line. Chad le Clos is in second place, looking the entire time at Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps was focused on winning the gold medal. Chad le Clos was focused on beating Michael Phelps. That picture has become a powerful statement for me. I use it as a screensaver on my computer. It's a powerful reminder to me for several reasons. Do I want to be the guy focused on winning, or do I want to be the guy focused on the guy who's winning? Infatuation with celebrity. I want to be the guy who's focused on winning. I have fully come to understand that if you choose to focus your life on winning, people will be focused on you. We are funny people. Our fascination, our fashion,
Our fashion?
our fascination, our fascination with celebrity in this country is well documented. We love our athletes and musicians and our Hollywood stars. We're very quick to build them up, and we are equally quick to tear them down. We build them up because many people live vicariously through one of their favorite stars. We know what their favorite Starbucks drink, what they had for dinner last night, what they named their children, and who they are currently dating. We can all become fangirls in a hurry around those who carry the title of fame. I don't want to get into the psychology of why we care so much about celebrity. I have a theory. I don't know if it's true, but it's my theory. My theory is that the reason we are so infatuated with celebrity is because there isn't much else in our lives that we are very excited about. We have stopped dreaming. We've stopped imagining what our life could become and instead settled to watch with awe and a little bit of envy as people live the life that we wished we were living ourselves. We build them up because we want to be them. We tear them down because we want them to be like us. I'm nowhere close to resembling a celebrity. I am about as average a guy as there ever could be. If you looked up pasty white dude in the Urban Dictionary, you'll see a picture of me with a sunburn giving a dorky thumbs up. Maybe not, but I bet you went to Urban Dictionary right now to look up pasty white guy for yourself. You could admit it. I'm not judging. I'm also not responsible for what you see on Urban Dictionary. I don't know if I have haters or not. I'm also sure that there are those out there who aren't fans of mine. There may be people who don't care much for me who are reading this book. They're looking for all the typos and trying to find places where I have misused two, and two somewhere in the book. I'm sure I've been unfriended on Facebook and blocked on Instagram. Does that give me haters? Maybe. I can guarantee you one thing though. I'm not focused on the people who aren't fans I am not focused on the people who aren't fans of who I am or what I do. I'm focused on the people who want my help. I have a motto that I try to live by. I'm going to give my best to assist those that want my help, and I'm going to show love and grace to everyone else. My former pastor who recently passed away, Sam Mayo, always told us, you can't stop a bird from flying over your head, but you can stop it from building a nest in your hair. He was so right. You can do nothing to control what other people say or think about you. You can try to be a good person. You can control your actions and your reactions. How they perceive them is completely up to them. Out of control. Stop worrying about things that you cannot control. And if there is one thing that we definitely cannot control, it's other people talking negatively about us, whether to our faces or behind our backs. I've often had to ask myself, why does it bother me so badly when others say negative things about me? Why does that really matter? Why do I need to like and approve? Why do I need everyone to like and approve of who I am and what I do? I used to be so bothered by this. While I wouldn't say that I love it if I find out that others have been talking negatively about me, my attitude has shifted. I've gone from, I can't believe they would say that, or how dare they, to, I'm glad my life is so interesting that you feel compelled to talk about it so often. I truly mean that. If there's anyone in history who proves this theory true, it's Jesus. Jesus did so much good for so many people. He still had his critics, though. At least your critics aren't plotting to kill you, and if they are, stop reading this book right now and call the police. Jesus' message was offensive to his critics, the Pharisees. Jesus' message was so offensive to his critics, the Pharisees, that they conspired to end his life. Jesus' message was... Jesus wasn't the first person to be killed because of a message he believed in strongly. Humanity has a tendency to react strongly when others don't share the same ideals as we do. We don't understand the people who don't vote the way that we vote. Look at the difference between Jesus and the Pharisees. Look at the difference between Jesus and the Pharisees, and truthfully ask yourself which of these you want to be. The Pharisees heard words that Jesus was speaking. Jesus was intentionally calling them out. He wasn't talking behind their backs. He was telling them to their face. He was exposing corruption and pride. The Pharisees didn't like it at all. So what did? They got defensive, and they eliminated a threat. At least, that's what they thought they were doing. Jesus, on the other hand, spoke truth, stood behind what he said. He wasn't a passive-aggressive. He didn't say one thing to one group of people and another to another group. He was consistent with his message. Even after they beat him senseless, he never wavered. People weren't just talking badly about Jesus, they were taking away his life. They didn't just take away his life, they took away his dignity, publicly. Isn't that what we're trying so hard to protect? Our dignity, our legacy, our pride? How did Jesus respond to those that took his life? With some of the last words he said, he found the strength to mutter, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. We shouldn't be worried about people that are criticizing us. We should look at who is criticizing us. I want you to think back to the last time you knew beyond the shadow of a doubt that someone was talking about you. Who were they? What was their life like? Were they people that you want in your life? People who were positive and who made your life better? Or were they just people who drained you? Don't be upset that people are critical of you. You should be happy if there is a segment of society who is critical of you. I hope that I repel some people. I hope that there are some people I annoy. I hope there are some people who get annoyed with this book and don't finish it. Don't do that. I've got some surprises later on that you won't want to miss. Hater fuel. If you want to be successful, you will have haters. It just comes with the territory. You have a choice to make in how you respond to haters. They can either be the thing that you use as an excuse or the things that you use as motivation. They can be the very thing that keeps you where you are or the thing that propels you forward. I have learned, however, that proving people wrong isn't always the best motivation. Michael Phelps wasn't motivated just to beat Chad LaClose. He wanted to win the gold medal. If he happened to beat LaClose along the way, so be it. My motivation is never to prove someone wrong. I don't want to give them that much power and influence over me. I'm not doing what I'm doing to prove anyone wrong. I'm doing what I'm doing because my reason is that important, and I refuse to allow anyone, anything, or any word that anyone says to me to stand in my way. If you get crazy focused on a goal that you are trying to accomplish, don't be surprised when the negative voices start to rise to the surface are those of family and friends. This is a tricky subject. We all know what it's like to have friends and family who are critical of what we do. I also want to say that sometimes we need our family and friends to be critical of us. Sometimes we need to grow a backbone and stop throwing a fit when the people closest to us don't wholeheartedly support everything we do. Don't be a victim. They have a different opinion than you. That's okay. I have on multiple occasions done dumb things that my friends and family told me were dumb, and I'm grateful they cared enough about me to tell me the truth. I didn't always listen. I'm grateful that I have friends and family who will tell me what they think, even if they know I won't like it. That being said, there are other times when I have had friends and family say some things that I didn't listen to, intentionally. I wish I had a magic equation that could help you figure out how to differentiate between someone being critical and someone just being concerned. I have learned, however, that just because someone is concerned about me doesn't mean that I'm in the wrong. I get one life to live, and I intend to live it on my terms. When friends and family become the obstacle. I was reading an outstanding book by Steven Pressfield called Do the Work. In it, he talks about how people out in the lobby. Think I can still go?
No.
Okay. I was reading an outstanding book by Steven Pressfield called Do the Work. In it, he talks about how sometimes friends and family can be the greatest obstacle that we have to overcome because their opinions of us carry more weight than someone we don't know. This is what he said that absolutely gripped me. Quote, "The problem with friends and family is they know us as we are. They are invested in maintaining us as we are. The last thing we want is to remain as we are." End quote. There's so much wow in that statement. Your friends and family know you as you are and love you that way. They tell you that often, but many times they want you to stay the way that they know you. But the last thing we want is to remain the same. We're chasing better. We aren't trying to be elitist. We aren't striving to be better than our friends and family. We're just striving to be better than we were yesterday. Some people just don't want to take that same journey. I was recently at an event in Las Vegas and I heard a guy speak whom I had never heard of before. His name is Ed Mylett. He's a coach, entrepreneur, motivator, pretty much all-around stud. I highly suggest signing up for his podcast called The Ed Mylett Show. It's free and incredibly motivating. During his talk at the conference, Ed shared a metaphor. He compared our life to a movie. Once a movie is finished, the credits begin to roll. The stars of the movie are usually listed first. Jennifer Lawrence, Denzel Washington, Brad Pitt, Reese Witherspoon. After the main actors or actresses are listed, the secondary characters are listed out. Every person who had anything to do with making this movie has their name listed on the credits. There are actors who don't even have a name in the movie who are listed. You get to see who played cab driver number 3. Why is that significant? It's significant because your life is a movie. You are the main character in the story that is being written about you. When your movie is over, your name will be the first one listed when the credits roll. Each of us have secondary characters, our family, our friends, our colleagues. You know what else every one of us will have in our movie? We all have cab driver number 3. Here's what Ed said that completely rocked me. He said, "Why are you letting your life be negatively impacted because of what cab driver number 3 thinks about you?" He doesn't even have a name in your story. He's an extra. She's not why people pay to see the movie. Never once have I walked out of a movie and thought, that no-name cab driver 3 nailed it in that scene. We all have cab driver number 3s in our life. The question is, why do you allow them to take up so much of your headspace? Are they a main character? So what if they are critical? So what if they talk badly? So what if they unfriend me? They're cab driver number 3. They aren't horrible people. They have their own stories. But in my story, in my movie, they are cab driver number 3. And I refuse to allow my life to be directed by the opinions of extras. Boom! That is chapter 2, and you can get the rest on Audible, my friends. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And stay tuned to CoreyBaker.us for more updates and more free weekly content.